startups, they say, oh, я не знаю, так и так, может быть. They start down this жизнь есть жизнь. It's crazy. I would listen more, as Steve Jobs said, to your heart, right? Go where your heart dictates, literally.
Okay, this was the motivational part.
Yeah, well, so
does any high-tech startup have to consider this necessity to go globally? Are there companies that should stay local? Does it even ever happen?
Sure. I mean, there's companies, they have a lifestyle business. They are happy doing what they're doing here or any country, right? And they don't want to do it. It's not, or they have a particular expertise in that particular market, and they're just, for them, it makes no sense. It's just, maybe there's competition in other markets and it wouldn't be interesting for them, right? But here it's good. Sure. But if you want to get the investment, it's really difficult to get investment if you have a limited geography, because people want billion-dollar potential companies. They want to have unicorns. And having a local company like that is probably not going to happen, right? So I'd say, part of life is believing in your dreams. And I'm not saying, I'm a Greek American, by the way. I lived in Russia 14 years. I spent a lot of time here. But I believe part of life is visualizing, believing that the glass is half full when not half empty. Keep positive. Stay positive, because doing a startup, part of the challenge with a lot of these startups, they say, oh, я не знаю, так и так, может быть. They start down this жизнь есть жизнь. It's crazy. You can change the world. Think positively. You've got the best talent in the world, some of the best, the very best. Why in the world would you say, I don't know? Maybe we can do it, maybe not. It's crazy. Just do it. And if you do that, if you set your mind and move that mentality, I've seen miracles happen with companies. We did it with Yva. We started with nothing. Here we are. We've got 70 employees. We're growing like crazy. I've raised $10 million worth of funding already. David Yang's my partner in 2 companies. I mean, it's incredible. So anybody can do it if they really believe and they focus on it. But a lot of times you have to look in the mirror and say, I want to do it. I trust you. Let's do it. And you're looking at yourself, together. And at that point in time, visualize where you want to be. I want to be a billion-dollar company, and start building it in that direction. It's not metaphysical. I'm telling you, really, it's called the Pygmalion effect, the self-fulfilling prophecy. It works. A lot of what you do when you do a startup is in your head.
When Russian startups are trying to do that, do they have to kind of copy or try to catch up with Asian or Western colleagues, or do they have some advantages over Asian and Western companies in the market? If they have any advantages, what are they?
Look at the Olympiads that have been won with Russian mathematicians. That's a competitive advantage. What do you do for fun? You play chess. Think about it. You do music. It's like you have a mathematically oriented culture. So use what you got. But there could be in Novosibirsk, could be in Omsk, Vladivostok, Nohotka, Nizhny Tagil. Who knows? Bring those minds together and create something incredible. And don't be afraid. Listen, we're all in this world to work together, right? We all want to be part of the same team. And the thing is, having this incredible talent, it's like an oasis, but you want to bring it out. So companies like Masquerade, companies like Prisma, they're starting to bring this stuff out. And I've done it with Yva. One of the reasons David and I got together is because, he understood that he needed to have an American CEO partner, co-founder, to help him in the States, and more importantly, help him go global. And so the opportunity in Russia is today. The AI technology, think about it. The top AI scientists in the world are in Russia and in Israel. And in Israel, they're mostly Russian. Hello? It's like simple. It's like, they call it the keep it simple, stupid, KISS principle. It's like, this is not hard, right? So use what you got. And I've been saying this for years, by the way. I wrote a paper at Stanford with Andrei Kunov in the year 2000 called Bilateral Technology Trade Between the U.S. and Russia. And I talked about it then. So Skolkova's doing a phenomenal job. We started the program at Skolkova Lawrence, GVA Launch Gurus. Now people are going out and going to those next levels and growing their companies. It's great, but more of it can be done. You know, why in the world would somebody work for a corporation when they can put a dent in the universe themselves?
Okay, this was the motivational part, but if we really talk about the prospects of Russian high-tech market and its international prospects, how do you see it? What is ahead of us?
So if we stay focused on areas like in AI, like unsupervised and semi-supervised AI, if we stay in areas, technology like facial recognition, I think the prospects are very, very, very good, because that is really the hottest part of the market. Blockchain was really yesterday's news, but artificial intelligence is really here to stay, because it's going to have a profound impact on our lives. So in terms of the companies, unsupervised, algorithmic math, supervised, AI, semi-supervised, all the areas in artificial intelligence, the places like MIT teach today. Those are the things that are really cool, because they can be applied to multiple companies. It's not just one. These same technologies can go broadly, so they can apply it in so many different ways. And that's where I think there's an opportunity today, tomorrow, and the future.
When you say blockchain is a news of yesterday, is this the old tech you mean? You don't need to get involved in blockchain, or what do you mean?
Yeah, so no, blockchain hasn't disappeared. It's just AI has really come up to the forefront because it affects so many different parts of our lives, right? It's going to be, in 5 years, virtually, think about it. You're going to have self-driving cars. You won't even drive yourself anymore. It already started, right? Here you've got Yandex Taxi. In 5 years, 10 years, they're going to have self-driving Yandex taxis. And insurance companies won't even want to cover us because they don't want to take a chance of us having an accident. So we'll get in a car, right? We won't have the pleasure of driving. It'll be like, oh, it's like a special experience if you drive a car. So we will be catered and taken places. Then once you get to that place, there'll be AI that helps us. It could be if you go into a hospital. As soon as you get in, there'll be so much AI looking at everything we do. Our life will be completely different than it is today. So I think that blockchain is interesting, but AI is it's literally, in 98% of everything we do. Even in farms, we have now tractors that are self-driving tractors. In the fields, you don't even go out. There's no more farmers in the fields. They're doing this stuff themselves now, right? So it's already started. It's incredible. Look at Teslas. The Teslas, for the most part, with crash aversion and self-driving, they can drive themselves today. It's going to change. It's happening now.
Do you believe in technological singularity?
I think so, yeah. I mean, think about it. I mean, look at, so if you look at some of the pacemakers today, right? We've already started. It's not like yesterday's news. We have things like pacemakers that will help us. And we have, today, we have aluminum joints. We've got hips. We've got all kinds of electrical stimulation now started to be able to help patients with things like Alzheimer's. It started, and it's only going to continue. And if we look at, as I said, one of the technologies at Stanford where they look at skin cancer, imagine being able in a very short period of time be better than 21 of the top doctors in the world. Nanorobots are going to go into our bodies and to be able to clean our bodies out all the time. Things like cholesterol. So they're going to be like vacuum cleaners, sucking it up. Oh, you got a problem with your kidney? Here, let me help you fix it. So I think it's going to happen. A few years ago, I took some Skolkova students out to California, and we did a paper called Living to 120 with Stanford University, and it was an incredible looking at some of the things for the future that are going to happen. And a lot of them are weighted in things like artificial intelligence, right? So it's amazing. In your lifetime, right, the people are going to start living. It's routine, living to 100, living 110. And the quality of life will keep getting better and better.
Понятно. Сейчас вы говорите о
You're talking about the helpers that are going to help us, but what about this Kurzweil-style artificial intelligence that's going to be independent of us, and we will have to cooperate with it or whatever?
Yeah. Well, you know, I have a couple pieces. I think, you know, I'm a clinical psychologist too, and I think what's going to happen is at some point we're going to say, listen, I want to go to Miggy Mo or I want to go to Skolkova, and there's going to be a little card, just like we put into a computer today, and it's going to go inside of our head, and all of a sudden you're going to have your 5 years at Miggy Mo in one flick or Harvard or whatever. I think, because look at it, this is basically a storage device. It's a biochemical storage device, your brain. And so at some point in a not too distant future, we're going to be able to understand how to alter things like memory, right? As we're doing all this research on Alzheimer's and dementia. So I think that's where this is going to happen. Is it going to happen in the next 5 years? Probably not. 10, 15 years? I'm sure. The advancement's already started. And Kurzweil, you know, in terms of, getting older and the quality of life, absolutely. Because now we can understand what's going wrong a lot faster and correct it.
What's your attitude to today's geopolitics? Is it still good enough for Russian startups to go global and doing something internationally?
I mean, I just did it with Yva, with David. I do it all the time. I think it is, but, you know, we got to look beyond, right? It's the geopolitics. It's always going to be challenges with geopolitics, right? The thing is, you know, I'm Greek, right? I'm Greek-American. My grandmother on one side was Egyptian, right? And she was Egyptian Greek. She came from Egypt. We all have an opportunity to go wherever we want. The key is, you know, if you let politics and create a boundary in front of you and you let that get in your way, it's not going to happen. But you got to think differently, think over it, think global. If you think about, hey, I'm in the U.S. or I'm in Mozambique or whatever, and put a border up like that, you know, it's not going to happen. A mental border. The thing is, you got to look differently. You know, I'm in Moscow right now myself because I started a company here with my friend and partner. We got an investment firm together. I started a new company, and I love Russian startups. I'm here. But, you know, the thing is, you got to just, you know, it's not, my wife is Russian too, right? So I don't think about like where you're from. I think about who you are, right? What kind of person you are. And so I wouldn't listen to the noise, the political noise. I would listen more, as Steve Jobs said, to your heart, right? Go where your heart dictates, literally. And, you know, don't let that stuff disturb you, because it'll always be there. There'll always be some crazy stuff going on that's going to create problems. Just think differently.
I agree with you here. I just want to wish our viewers that they think differently, think global. Then it will definitely work. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
That are going to help us. But what about this Kurzweil-style artificial intelligence that's going to be independent of us, and we will have to cooperate with it or whatever?
Yeah. Well, so